Hey everyone, Adam McKenzie here and welcome back to our Strong and Sexy studio. Now, today I'm wearing white with a white background, and the main reason I'm doing that is because I want you to know that I come in peace. And the reason why I say that is because today's topic and subject line is choices, and it can often be quite a controversial topic and discussion because and I want it to be that way because I want you to be thinking about things from a completely different point of view, or I want you to really feel what I'm saying today, because it's going to be a big reason behind why so many of you either have achieved what you wanted to achieve or you haven't. And if you haven't, I guarantee you that it's not just with weight loss, it's with other things in your life. And I'm not here to judge you at all. I just want you to know that there is a reason behind why you have achieved what you wanted to and why you haven't. And by having the choice to decide how you handle things from here on out, all right, I know that you're going to be able to switch things around, either become better at achieving what you want or start achieving what you want rather than settling for not. And hopefully you can read my writing here. And I've got up the top, I've got responsibility, a big black line, all right, and below the line we've got lay blame, excuses, and justifications. And covering this as a whole, all I want to ask you is, where do you sit in your life when it comes to the line? Okay, do you tend to be more above the line? So do you operate above the line more than you operate below the line? And all I mean by that is, do you take responsibility for everything in your life? And it's a big thing to come to terms with. And I guess the biggest example I can give you is, I've been overweight twice. I've been bankrupt almost twice. And to realize that I had attracted those things into my own life and that I was the only person responsible for being where I was, for being the weight that I was, for being in the financial or work situation that I was in. And I've always been somebody that's taken a lot of risks, whether it be, from an entrepreneurial point of view, whether it be with my health and my well-being as well, because there was a big period of my life where I didn't care about myself. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned is how to take responsibility for realizing that everything that you have in your life today is because you attracted it into your life, and that you're the only person that's 100% responsible for the outcomes that you've had or the situation that you're in or how you're feeling at the moment. Nobody else forced that cheesecake down your mouth, the Big Mac, the extra wine at nighttime, the sneaky chocolate in your desk at work. Nobody else did that, only you did that. And it can be a bit of a painful realization sometimes that you are where you are because of your own actions, because of your own choices and decisions. And the whole reason why I've called the topic to this video and the subject choices is because as human beings, as women, as people on a day-to-day basis, do we have a choice to be above the line or below the line? The answer is yes, of course we do. But why do we often choose to stay down here? We all have a choice in terms of where we want to sit on a day-to-day basis, and the types of decisions we make based on that. And what do you think is easier? Do you think it's easier to blame the situation, to blame your circumstance, to blame somebody else, to blame genetics, to blame finances, to blame the weather, to blame injuries, whatever else? Do you think it's easier to lay blame and to make excuses and to tell yourself nice stories with the justifications that you give yourself of why you didn't do it or why it didn't happen or how it will happen next time, but you're just waiting for this first? Okay? Do you think that's an easier choice to make than it is to take responsibility, going, hang on, I've done a half-assed job here. I've only put in half the amount of effort that I could. I fucked up. Excuse my language, but taking responsibility for realizing I'm the one that made the mistake, or I'm the one that didn't do what was needed in the situation to get the result that I wanted, that's on me. Do you think it's harder to take responsibility to look yourself in the face, to look others in the eye and tell them, do you know what? It's on me. I'm here because of what I did or didn't do. And the answer is yes, okay? It's much harder to live your life and to make choices above the line. It is. It's a lot easier to hide here below the line, all right? And that's often where most of us spend our lives. And the whole reason why it's such an important topic when we come to you getting results and you turning your body and your mindset around to get in the best shape of your life and to become the best version of yourself that you can be, is because if you spend majority of your time here, do you think you're ever going to get the results that you want? And let's just say you get half the results that you want, but you still live your life around here. Do you think you're going to enjoy what you've just achieved the same way you would if you took responsibility for it? Because some of the best parts about taking responsibility for things is the fact that, yeah, I take responsibility for the mistakes that I made, but you know what? I'm taking responsibility for the great choices I made too, and the successes I had. And I'm gonna sit back, celebrate, and feel good about them. And I've said it in a few videos now, it's one of the things I wanna teach you to be able to do. And by taking responsibility for all the great things you've done is just as important as it is taking responsibility for the things that maybe you haven't done well or to your best ability. And when it comes to training, all I want you to think, and we've talked about this in How to Create Change, what's some of the action steps that I've given you to put in place, how to deal with emotions and still keep moving forward. This all comes into play as well because I want you to take responsibility for what you've committed to and what you need to do on a day-to-day, week-to-week, and month-to-month basis to end up with the results that you want. And remember, the results that you want are specific to you. They could be just a certain way that you want to feel. They could be, a certain outfit that you want to fit into, an event that you want to do, like a fun run or a charity run or something that you've set yourself as a goal, okay? Take responsibility for that and realize that you're the only person that's going to get yourself there. I'm going to be 100% committed as your coach to help you and support you. And our program is designed to give you all the tools that you need to get there. But the only person that can do it is you. All right? And I can't express that any more than hopefully looking you in the face and letting you know that if you don't take responsibility for this, and if you don't take responsibility for where you are in your life, with your health, your weight, your emotional state, if you don't stop and do that right now, you're never going to change in the way that you want to, all right? And I don't like to say never because I don't mean that you can't. I just mean that you need to be able to do this first. And it's not necessarily a negative thing. It is sometimes something that will hurt. And I've had some huge realizations in my life about myself. And I've watched so many women go through exactly the same thing to realize that what they're doing to themselves is killing their children. It's killing their husband. It's giving them the type of life that they never wanted. And if they drew a picture of everything that they didn't want in their life, guess what they just created? And the whole reason why they created it is they were so focused on what they didn't want, that's exactly what they created, rather than focusing on what they did want, taking responsibility for where they were now, and creating what they need to move forward. And again, please, all I want you to do, take responsibility for the practical things that you need to do to end up where you want to. So from a training and a goal point of view, what things are you responsible for yourself, day to day, week to week, month to month? What are you going to do tomorrow to ensure that you're still moving forward towards your goal? Okay? And are things going to come up? Hell yeah, all right? Kid's going to be sick. You got to work extra work. You got to go away for work. You might get injured. You're sick. I got a cold. I'm snowed into the house and I can't get to the gym. Whatever it might be, things are going to come up for sure, okay? But are you going to blame all of those things in you not being able to do what you want? Or will you go, do you know what? In this situation, what can I do? I'm responsible for moving forward. I'm responsible for doing the practical things that I need to on a day-to-day basis to achieve my goals and to become a better version of myself. What things can I do right now in this situation, regardless of everything else that's going on around me, to achieve that? Okay, and I don't care what it is. It's something that you're going to give yourself. It's something that you're going to choose to do in the situation, so that you're not sitting here below the line. All right, you didn't just not do it because, hang on, I'm tired, I'm sick, I didn't feel up to it again, hubby didn't get home in time so I couldn't go, whatever it might be. You didn't waste time with any of these things. You took responsibility and did whatever you could. All right, and one of the things I want you to be aware of down here, and lay blame is pretty easy to explain, because obviously you're laying blame on someone, either yourself, either a situation, circumstance, anybody else as well. So that's pretty easy to explain, and hopefully you stop doing that or become more aware of how you're doing that, and then how can you take responsibility for that, and how can you stay above the line. All right? And a lot of this stuff comes back to the way that you talk about yourself and the languaging that you use. And it's the easiest way that I ever pick it up in somebody is I'll be having a conversation with them and I'm like, how are you progressing forward? Or what are you doing today to achieve what you want to achieve? And listening to the languaging, right, and the stories. And this is where, for me, the excuses and the justifications come in. You can convince yourself of anything that you want to in life, positively, negatively. It's your choice, right? And the stories that you tell yourself about why you weren't able to do something, or how you can't do something, or how you need to do that first before you can do that, rather than just go, what, do you know what? I'm just gonna go do it. Who cares about anything else? I'm just gonna go do it, or I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna drink this time because I'm not gonna listen to my story about, I gotta live my life, wine's not that bad. If I just have one this night, it won't, mean it'll, be too much for the week, and I'll just, stories, okay? And that's often how I have to address this, and the whole reason why, again, I'm wearing white, as I'm coming in peace, because I want you to stop the stories. What you're doing is you're lying to yourself, all right? You are telling yourself it's okay to not take responsibility. It's okay to not do the things that you want, or to waste the time that you have based on what? Seriously, based on what? If I stripped away most of your stories, or listened to everything that you have to say and worked out of that entire story, excuse, justification, what actually mattered in the situation, what part of it is really what you want, and how is it helping you move forward? And if you can start to do that for yourself, you're gonna start to realize and be conscious of, you know what, I'm just telling myself stories again. Could I have done it? Yep. Could I have done better? Yep. And be honest with yourself, because that's where taking responsibility comes into it. Because do you know what? If you start to realize, do you know what, I'm doing a half-assed job here, and I've been telling myself for a long time that it's okay. I've been lying to myself, I've been lying to my partner, my friends, my children, everybody, and I'm telling myself that it's okay to do that because I have some good stories. Or I'm going to be honest with myself, with my friends, my partner, my family, that I need to step up. I need their help, I need their support. I need to stop listening to the stories I've been telling myself, and I'm going to start making the steps I need to move forward. All right? And I really, 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 really want you, all right, to work hard at this and to make the commitment to stop bullshitting yourself, all right, and to really start to listen to what you've been telling yourself for so long. Like, I can't weight train, I can't go to gym 4 days a week, I don't have time, I can't fit it in, I can't eat healthy all the time, I get bored, it's not good for me, I've got to go out with my friends, I've got to drink. All these stories, yeah, they're all there. And look, if those are choices that you want to make at the time, that's fine. But if those choices aren't helping you feel better about yourself, achieve what you want, and have the body that you've always wanted, and that's then affecting your emotional state, your confidence, your self-worth, you feeling sexy, whatever it might be, if those choices aren't helping you move forward and become the version of yourself that you want to become, then why? Seriously, stop, have a look at them, and why? If you're making those choices, who are you making them for? If they're not helping you, who are you making them for? All right? If it's what you want, then fine. If it's not what you want, then stop. Stop telling yourself it's okay. Stop telling yourself it'll happen later or I'll do it one day. You won't. And that's why you're here now. That's probably why you've been in this situation and having this sort of a conversation with yourself again. And I'm here as your coach, somebody who is committed to getting out the best version of you that I can. And I can't do that by lying to you and by accepting the stories, the excuses, and the bullshit that you want to spin yourself, all right, or spin me or anybody else. So next time you want to tell yourself a story, I want you to try something, okay? And it might be painful, and I've done this with female clients before, and they've ended up needing a box of tissues, but it really, really works. And what I want you to do is next time, whatever it might be, I didn't do the groceries this afternoon, which is really what I wanted to do to get prepared for the week. Okay, why? Start to listen to that story you're telling yourself and go stand in front of the mirror. Regardless of what you think about yourself visually, I don't care. I want you to look in the mirror into your own eyes, and I want you to tell yourself the story that's going on in your head, or the story that you shared with everybody else about why you weren't able to do what you set yourself. Say it out loud, say it to yourself in the mirror. And if you do that and you self-assess and you look at yourself in the eye and go, is that story an excuse or a justification? Or is that me taking responsibility for it, going, hey, do you know what? I didn't do it. There is no excuse. I just didn't do it. And not being okay with that. Because sometimes, and this is a hard point to explain, and I hope you can follow me here. Sometimes I've dealt with women where they will take responsibility for it. It's my fault. I fucked up. I always screw up. I'm always the person who doesn't do this. I never commit to what I want to do. I, don't like myself, so I don't put the effort in. Okay, and that's taking responsibility, isn't it? That's taking responsibility for, hey, do you know what? I'm the person that's responsible for not doing it. But the problem with that is it becomes something that's so common for you to tell yourself, and it almost becomes something that's below the line, because what you're doing now is you're blaming yourself for not doing the things that you want to do. So yes, you're taking responsibility, but you're not taking responsibility for what you needed to do to end up with the outcome that you wanted. You're taking responsibility as yourself. So you're not blaming anybody else, you're blaming you, but you're still blaming. All right? And your justification is that you always screw up. It's always me, it's my fault. And yes, I want you to take responsibility for your actions and your choices yourself, but I want you to do something with that. And you've probably guessed by most of these videos and most of the themes that I've been talking about, action, all right, means more than words. And you sitting there, taking responsibility for it, having that conversation with yourself in the mirror, and listening to the words, the stories, the justifications that come out, what actions are you gonna do from there? If you're standing in front of the mirror, slap to the face and go, stop lying, you're full of shit, okay? Don't tell me any more stories. I know I didn't do it. I know what I need to do next time to make sure it happens. Done. No baggage, no more emotional stuff you gotta carry around with you. Done. I've dealt with it. You've taken responsibility and you're moving forward. Now, don't use that as something that you need to be afraid of, because sometimes that's what happens is something didn't happen that you wanted to happen, or you didn't do something that you promised you would do. And as women, you tend to feel really, really guilty about that, to the point where you get so consumed by guilt that you don't want to do anything because you're so afraid. And all I want to say is deal with each thing specifically as a once-off event. So whatever happens, take responsibility for it the best way you can. So look, I didn't know what happened. I know that I didn't end up with the result that I want. Let me go away and have a look at what I can do next time to make it better. Done. Finished, move forward. If you find something later that you know would have made that situation better, come back to it then, but you're coming back to it in such a positive and proactive manner. Hey, do you know what? If I'd done that in that situation, I know what would have ended up with the outcome I wanted, or you actually went and did it even better. So you learn from why you didn't achieve what you wanted to. You took responsibility for doing something about it, and then you came back and you did that. What a great feeling. You just empowered yourself to do something that last time became a story, became an excuse, became something that you blamed. And guess what? Do you think much happens when you stay down here? Do you think you achieve much in your life when you stay down here? Do you feel better about yourself when you stay down here? And the answer is no to all of it. This is where we need to live. This is where you need to be as a strong and sexy woman. This is where you need to be as a person, is above the line. Taking responsibility for the things that you know you need to do and taking action towards achieving them. And like I said, actions speak louder than words. Don't tell yourself stories, whether they're good stories or bad. Action, okay? Do something about it and make the choices that are going to help you, not the choices that are there for everyone else. And as a woman, again, especially as a mum, someone who's often very selfless, okay? You need to be an important part of the decisions you make. You need to be able to take responsibility for yourself, all right, without having to blame the kids' time, not being able to get to the gym, whatever it might be. You still need to be able to do that for yourself. And I really hope that watching this video and realizing some of the patterns that you might see within yourself, you're going to be able to, be conscious of them, break that pattern, have those conversations in the mirror and be done with them, move forward in a proactive way, taking action and making the choices to move forward to a better version of yourself. All right? Go out, be happy, be great, and charge into every day full of passion and determination.